Yes, people, what is happening? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing okay. And today we're going to be discussing 5 players to keep an eye on from Tottenham Hotspur during Euro 2020. But before we get into all of that good stuff, make sure if you're new here to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, I'm going to be bringing you today a short video discussing 5 Tottenham Hotspur players, 5 THFC players to watch during the Euros, check out during the Euros, and as I say, some of the most impressive players from Tottenham who are going to the Euros. So we'll start things off with Højbjerg. Højbjerg obviously will be playing for Denmark, will most likely be a first team starter during Euro 2020 or Euro 2021, whatever way you want to go about saying it. And look, the reason I think it's important to keep an eye on Højbjerg is we've seen how he does at Tottenham Hotspur. We've seen how he adapted to the defensive game of Jose Mourinho, the defensive play. Now, what I've seen of Denmark, they play much more attacking football than Tottenham did this season. So, the reason I'm saying you must keep an eye on Højbjerg during Euro 2020, because it will be very interesting to see if he can adapt to playing more expressive and attacking football, as I say. And, you know, maybe he can get a couple goals or something, Højbjerg, as I say. But as a defensive midfielder, his whole job at Spurs is to hold up play. And I think he does it so well, especially sitting in front of the 2 centre-halves. But as Denmark, as I say, still has to do that. But whilst holding up the play, I've seen him, you know, hang on to the ball a little bit longer, do stuff with the ball, make a nice pass, as I say. So it'll be very interesting to see what he can do for Denmark in Euro 2020. And that was number 1. That takes us nicely on to number 2. And it's Tottenham Hotspur youngster Joe Rodon, who will be going to Euro 2020 with Wales. And the reason I believe you should keep an eye on Rodon is because he's young, he's a very talented player, and he hasn't had that much game time for Tottenham this season. He hasn't had that much game time. He's been all right when he's coming to the team, as I say. So it'll be interesting to see him as a first team starter, because I do believe Wales are going to use him as a first team starter. So it'll be very interesting to see Rodon in the first team week in, week out, as I say, see him playing. And look, it's been one of the main things about Rodon this season, and the reason I don't think he's hit the ground running this season is because he'll play a couple games, or he'll play one game and then he'll be left out for 4, and then he'll randomly be put back into the squad when we had Jose Mourinho and even Ryan Mason, right? So it'll be very interesting to see him play a consistent set of games, at least 4 games, if Wales do not make it through, which I do think they will, but that's a video for another day. So keep an eye on Rodon during Euro 2020, and it'll be interesting to see how the youngster gets on. And that takes us on to number 3, Ben Davies, right? And a lot of people will be like, what? You know, he's not a youngster. He hasn't got any talent. Why do you want to keep your eye on Ben Davies? Listen, in that Wales team, he always seems to turn up. And if he can put in some good performances this summer for Wales, not only could we keep him, now that gives us 2 options if he puts in some really good performances. 1, we keep him next season, occasionally he gets into that left back position. I think it'll be tough with Sessegnon returning to Tottenham, as saying regular on there, but maybe if he puts in some brilliant performances, he can get into that squad next season. Or 2, if he puts in some good performances, we can sell him for a really good price. We can sell Ben Davies for 20 to 25 million, and what he'd probably be now is 10 to 15 million. So if he can start putting together some good performances, as I say, this summer with Wales, who knows, maybe we can make a good bit of money off him, as I say, this summer, where really it's a transfer market that even Daniel Levy's come out and said, and you expect him to say something like that because all he cares about is more money in his pocket. But he's come out and said it's a summer where Tottenham needs to sell to buy. Now, as I say, if we can make more profit off Ben Davies, that'd be very good. And that takes on to number 4, someone else who we can make more profit off, Moussa Sissoko for France, right? I still don't understand how Tanguy Ndombele doesn't get in and Moussa Sissoko does. But he's played a very good role at France. He's got more freedom at France, as I say, because their players and their squad is so good that the World Cup winning team got to the finals of the Euros, probably the best international team. Well, yes, the best international team right now in the world. And look, Sissoko often gets in their team, although he puts in, not the greatest performances for Spurs. He often gets in that France team, and he often impresses. He presses high, as I say, and he doesn't really play as a defensive midfielder. He plays more as a centre mid, as I say, and likes to press a bit more. So it could be interesting to see him. And if he starts putting in good performances, maybe we see him next season, as I say. Or maybe with Skip and Højbjerg, we can sell him for a little more money. So those are the first 4. And number 5, the man himself, Harry Kane. And the reason I put Harry Kane in here, right? Harry Kane has come out and said it in interviews and everything. He doesn't want to be at Spurs next season. But put it this way. England go out there and win the Euros, right? That's a trophy for Harry Kane. What he's been craving. That's, Harry Kane's always said trophies are his main thing. He at least wants one trophy to look back on, as I say. And he wants to look back on his career with no regrets. If he can win a trophy with England, right? That possibly could mean that he stays at Tottenham because he's got a trophy with England. Now, definitely probably want to go to another club, as I say, even if we do. But there's a slight chance that if England do go out there and win the Euros, that's a trophy for Harry Kane. He's always said he doesn't want to look back on his career with no regrets and he wants to win trophies. There's a trophy, as I say, and just maybe that could push him on and take a look at the records he could break at Tottenham Hotspur. But this has been the video, guys. Thank you all for watching. You've all been absolutely fantastic. I do just want to say this because I don't think I say it enough in my videos. I love every single one of you guys. You're absolutely brilliant. So thank you so, so much. You guys are the reason I carry on doing this. The views you give me, checking out my channel, subscribing, liking, commenting down below, as I say. Now, look, I'm tight on time right now, as I say. I've got loads of stuff lined up that I need to do, so sometimes I don't get to see all the comments. But please keep on commenting because I will eventually get to them. I will read them. And as I say, you guys are absolutely brilliant, the support you've shown this channel. So thank you all so, so much. And as always, come on, you Spurs!